Hi guys, the good-hearted teacher here. I am so excited to share the lattice method for multiplication with you. If you are an educator, the entire presentation is available for purchase on the Teacher Pay Teachers page that I will link below. I hope that you can get a lot of use out of it. So here we go. Here we will multiply a 2-digit by a 2-digit number, 42 times 25. You start off by creating the box shown here. It is broken up into 4 main squares, since that works with our 2-digit by 2-digit number. And each of those 4 main squares is halved with a diagonal line as well. Here we will take our first number, 42, and place that at the top. We have the 25 left. What do we do with the 25 now? We will place that on the left side, just like this. The next step is to multiply the two factors in each box. Let's focus on this first box here, in the yellow. What are the two factors we will be multiplying here? The 2 and the 4. Yes, 2 times 4 is 8. So how does that setup look inside of our first box? Well, when inserting your products into each square, you need to keep these two rules in mind. The box is split into tens and ones. Tens go on the top and ones go on the bottom. Our product here is 8. There are no tens. And there are 8 ones in 8. So we'll place a 0 in the 10 spot and an 8 in the 1 spot. Now we will move on to the second box, here in blue. What two factors are we multiplying here? The 2 and the 2. Great! 2 times 2 is 4. We'll place a 0 in the tens box and a 4 in the ones box. Next we will focus on this pink box here. What are the two factors we will be multiplying here? 5 and 4. 5 times 4 is 20, so we'll place a 2 in the tens place because there are 2 tens in 20, and a 0 in the ones place since there is a 0 and 20 in the ones place, thinking in regards to place value. What are the final two factors we will multiply for this last green box here? 5 and 2. 5 times 2 is 10, so we will place a 1 in the tens place since there is a 1 10 in 1, and a 0 in the ones place, since there is a 0 in the ones place for 10. The next step is to extend our diagonal lines, as shown here. Now we will label our lines. Think of our typical place value chart, like the one here. And we are just going to transfer those place values onto our spaces here. So the ones go on the bottom of this space, the tens go here on the next line, the hundreds correspond to the next line up, and finally the thousands match up to this top line here. Now we will find our partial products. Each square has one of the partial products, but we'll use the place values to describe the values in each square. So for this first yellow box here, we can see that we have a 0 in the thousands place and an 8 in the hundreds place. So what is the value of the digits in this box? 800. So let's place that 800 up here in our place value chart. Next, for our blue box, here we have a 0 in the hundreds place and a 4 in the tens place. What is the value of the digits in this blue box? 40. Great. Let's place that 40 in our place value chart up here. Now, for our pink box down here, we have a 2 in the hundreds place and a 0 in the tens space. What is the value of our digits in the pink box? 200. Great. We will place that up here in our place value chart as well. And finally, for our green box, we have a 1 in the tens place and a 0 in the ones place. And that gives us a value of 10 for the green box. I'm going to place that up here in our place value chart as well. Phew! Okay, now we have all of our partial products. And our last step is to add them up. It's so great that we already have them lined up correctly in our place value chart. The sum of our partial products is 1050. So now we know that 42 times 25 gives us a product of 1050. How awesome is that? Now I'm going to allow you to practice with the lattice method here. Go ahead and pause the video to complete this problem. Come back and press play when you are finished, and we will go over the problem together. Okay, great. So let's quickly go over your practice question here together. I first went ahead and set up my boxes. Then I placed my products in their correct spots. My 53 is broken up here on the top, and the 24 is broken up here on the left side. I went ahead and multiplied my first two factors here. 5 times 2 is 10, and wrote that down in my box. A 1 in the tens place in the top section, and a 0 in the ones place on the bottom section. Next, 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6, so I place a 0 in the tens section on the top of the square, and a 6 in the one spot on the bottom here. Now, 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20, so I place the 2 in the top 10 spot, and a 0 in the bottom's 1 spot. And finally, 4 times 3 for this last square. 4 times 3 is 12, so a 1 goes in the top 10 spot, and a 2 in the bottom 1 spot of this square. I will now extend the diagonal lines here, and I will go ahead and label each section. Yay! Now I will go ahead and write down each partial product in my place value chart here. For the first box here, I have a 1 in the thousand spot and a 0 in the hundreds place. So that has a value of 1,000. For the next box, I have a 0 in the hundred spot and a 6 in the tens space. So that has a value of 60. In this bottom corner square, we have a 2 in the hundreds place and a 0 in the tens place. So that gives us a value of 200. And finally, for our last box here, we have a 1 in the tens place and a 2 in the ones place. That will give us a value of 12. I'm going to go ahead and add up my partial products here. And I got 1,272. So now we know that 53 times 24 has a product of 1,272. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial here. You can find the links to the full PowerPoint presentation below. Thank you for watching. Bye!